You've probably noticed prices that feel personal. The same flight, the same hotel room, the same pair of shoes, different prices for different people. That's not your imagination. Behind it all is an interweb of companies most people never hear about, quietly running the algorithms that decide what you pay based on what they know about you. This isn't speculation, it's documented, it's growing, and it's largely invisible. I'm going to walk you through how surveillance pricing actually works, the data, the players, and what it means for your wallet. The facts are filed. Let's learn more about surveillance pricing.
For over a century, the basic rule of commerce was simple. A price was a static number attached to a physical good, dictated by supply chains, overhead, and manufacturing costs. Historically, every shopper who walked into a store paid the exact same price for the exact same item on the shelf. That price was tethered to the physical location and the broad economic conditions of the day, rather than the characteristics of the individual buyer. Digital marketplaces operate on a different logic, the multi-dimensional price. To figure out exactly how these multi-dimensional prices work, the Federal Trade Commission released its initial findings from an ongoing study in January 2025. The agency's review of internal documents from major data intermediaries reveals that prices are now fluid variables. They are computed in real time by third-party firms to match a specific individual's exact price sensitivity. We are going to reverse engineer the business-to-business technology stack that makes this possible, tracing the data pipeline backward from the final price you see on your screen, all the way to the raw data inputs they collect. Intermediaries engineer the price tag as a bespoke interface designed to extract the absolute maximum amount a specific user is willing to pay. Starting at the end of the intermediary pipeline, we look at the core product these software developers are actually selling to retailers. The stated business value is clear: boost revenue and lower costs without losing overall sales volume. These tools aim for a 1 to 4% margin increase. To secure this, the FTC identified 3 output mechanisms. First is price targeting. This software customizes localized prices in milliseconds, adjusting based on scraped competitor data. The second is consumer segmentation. Instead of offering a blanket discount, these algorithms route specific promotional codes exclusively to buyers deemed at risk of leaving. Routine, reliable customers are intentionally excluded from the sale because the system predicts they will pay full price anyway. The third mechanism controls search and product ranking. In an FTC example, a mobile app pushes high-priced baby thermometers to the top of a new parent's feed. This manipulation is triggered by zip code and time of purchase, capitalizing on inferred urgency. These 3 outputs turn pricing into an individualized psychological pressure point. Moving one step left on the pipeline brings us to the logic layer. This is where we answer how the output tools know exactly who to target and exactly how much margin to extract. Intermediaries manage this by constructing a unique consumer profile. They merge disparate streams of data gathered across completely different physical and digital environments into a single identity file. This profiling is persistent and cross-device. It links the mobile app SDKs on your phone with browser cookies on your laptop and ties both to the loyalty actions you take at a physical cash register. Consider the FTC's scenario of a first-time car buyer using a digital dealership kiosk to explore vehicle models and financing options. That kiosk interaction flows into a central database, attaching a permanent label as a first-time buyer. Because the system assumes a first-time buyer is less savvy, that tag generates higher, less favorable financing rates, which are then pushed directly to the user's mobile device. Consumer profiles function as predictive engines, calculating abstract metrics like loyalty, lifetime revenue potential, and the exact mathematical probability of a future purchase. Moving to the far left of the pipeline reveals the raw fuel driving this entire architecture, the data ingestion layer. The information flowing into this matrix comes from a variety of sources. Some is harvested directly by the retailer, some is imported wholesale from third-party data brokers, and some is continuously scraped from competing websites. The most granular inputs fall under direct behavioral data. This relies on precise tracking software, like intermediary web pixels and software development kits embedded in the apps you use. These trackers log hyper-specific micro-interactions. They record exactly how far down a page you scroll, where you let your mouse linger, and whether you demonstrate a hesitant micro-movement before clicking a checkout button. In an example highlighted by the study involving an online retailer for survivalist gear, simply watching exactly 65% of a homepage video triggers an automated text message sequence specifically timed to close the sale. The second critical category of input is inferred data. This is where algorithms translate non-financial actions into definitive, calculated metrics about your financial sensitivity. For example, if a user buying infant formula selects a fast delivery option, the algorithm infers that the parent is rushed, highly stressed, and therefore far less sensitive to price hikes. Inside this ingestion layer, every physical hesitation, every screen tap, and every digital micro-interaction is commodified. They serve as direct inputs to calculate the exact ceiling of your willingness to pay. Zooming out, this entire architecture functions as a single continuous loop. A minor cursor hesitation feeds an inferred behavioral trait. That trait instantly updates your profile, instantly recalculating the price displayed on your screen to extract maximum margin. The FTC study makes it clear that these intermediary tools are not experimental concepts. They are currently deployed at scale across at least 250 massive corporate clients. This surveillance pricing architecture spans major grocery chains, apparel retailers, banking institutions, and global travel conglomerates. Because many of these businesses deploy this technology across a combination of their e-commerce platforms and their physical brick-and-mortar storefronts, opting out is virtually impossible. The FTC study details a marketplace where commerce functions as a highly localized algorithmic negotiation against a consumer's own digital shadow.
You now have an understanding. What are your thoughts of surveillance pricing? Is it necessary for retailers to survive, or is it hurting the commerce experience? We'd like to hear from you.